Okay, that was a very flattering intro. I'll try to live up to that. Brief intro on myself. Orbit Media is a web design company. We're not a web marketing company, so I teach these things, but it's not a service we offer. And it's been 12 years, though. I was a startup once upon a time. Since January of 2000, I've done web design. And I'm the hustler. I have a hacker partner, and I'm the hustler. And so this presentation is about startups. It's about the functions, the main people in the startups. And I want to kind of just drop a knowledge bomb on this room and pass along as much web marketing tips and tricks as I can in the 16 minutes that I've got, 15 and a half. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, hackers and hustlers. You guys are familiar with the model? Name a famous startup. They almost always have two co-founders. One's the hacker, one's the hustler. Who are these guys? Jobs and Woz, right? Very famous. We can go back, though, to much earlier examples, almost historic examples. You might not recognize these two, but their names are familiar. Hewlett and Packard, pretty good. And we've got more current, more local examples, including these two handsome guys. Who's that? Grubhub guys, right? Yeah, Evans and yeah. Okay, the hacker. I always forget their names. I have it written down here. Matt Maloney and Mike Evans. I use that all the time. Okay, the hacker is generally the technical co-founder, the famous technical co-founder. There's a lot of emphasis placed on that, and there's a lot of people who are just, you know, looking through, they're going to events, they're going to websites, they're trying hard to connect with that technical co-founder because that person is going to solve the problem. They're the big problem solver, they solve the problem for the big audience. That's the person that makes the business, basically. They create the company, they create the product or service. They're often technical, not always, but usually they're technical. And this is a Michael Baldwin quote. He says, "The hacker is someone who looks at the problem and solves it in a unique and special way." The hustler, if the hacker makes the business, the hustler makes the business grow. This is the relationship builder. This is the passion person. This is patient zero in a viral campaign. This is the person that can explain the product or service in a way that gets people enthusiastic in a way that no one else can. It's the Steve Jobs of the partnership, right? Now, there's a lot of emphasis placed on the hackers, and I know that there's tons and tons of noise and buzz. There's job boards. How do I find my technical co-founder? So much in this, right? Because digital startups are typically like a software as a service or an online product of some kind, and people who are bringing those things to market are always talking about this. What do those letters stand for? Minimum viable product, right? Everyone knows that. It's the MVP, mega trend in startups. We all need to get to the minimum viable product as fast as we can. There's an ideal product. We'd love to put in all the features. Doesn't really make sense, right? Because we can get our product to market sooner if we just launch with the minimum. We will iterate faster. We'll get feedback sooner. We will make sure, we'll validate that this is needed by our audience, that we're really solving a problem because it's MVP. Okay, now this is not a trick question. What does that stand for? I'm guessing no one in here has ever heard these three words put together. And that's the point of my presentation. That's why I want to emphasize the hustle. This stands for minimum viable audience. And you need to have one before your business is successful. Of course, the product has to get to its minimum, right? And that's the day you launch. But what's the day that you're successful? It's the day that you actually get your minimum viable audience to connect with your product and actually begin solving these people's problems. So this is, I think, an undervalued thing. I could kind of rant about it. I might someday on the Technori blog if Seth accepts a post on this topic. But I really want to make sure that people are paying as much attention to the hustle as much as the hack. Because although that's great, and you might start your hustle right before you go live, right? A little pre-launch kind of marketing, and it might go viral fast, and boy, that green line looks awesome. But more commonly, it doesn't work out that way. It's very common, right, for businesses to start and they don't get that minimum viable audience, and so they don't get to that point, and they kind of slowly run out of money, and what they end up building is something that we have a word for in the software world, shelfware. That's a product no one uses. Okay? Let's not do that. That's death. We don't want to build shelfware. So I'm going to help you guys for the next few minutes here with your minimum viable audience. Now, you can calculate it very easily. Just work backwards from your revenue target and figure out your traffic from search, your traffic from email, your conversion rate from visitors into subscribers, visitors into registrants or users, what's the cost of delivering your service, and so on. That looks very mathy. We're going to skip that and make it simple. Traffic times conversions equals revenue. traffic times conversions. These are the two most important numbers in web marketing by far. And if you guys don't know by heart what your conversion rate is this last week on your website, you probably need to hustle, right? We live and die by these two numbers, traffic and conversions. This is how businesses grow. This is how we feed our pipeline. This is where it all comes from. Okay, now you might have a plan which looks something like this. Oh, my product's going to go viral, no problem at all. And thankfully, my investors gave me a giant budget to do advertising. And behind that door back there, I've got 500 kids pounding the phone as a massive call center, right? Does that sound familiar to anyone here? Know any businesses that made that work? There's a few, but unfortunately, it's not you. I'm sorry to say. That plan is not going to work out for most of the people in this room. Okay? Unless, is there? No, he's not here, right? He's not even there anymore. You know who I mean. Okay. Okay, so let's hustle. This is it, guys. We're going to hustle. I've got 9 minutes left to get some stuff done here. Guy Kawasaki said it best. There's two types of marketing, advertising and content marketing, or we could say outbound and inbound marketing. If you've got more money than brains, do outbound marketing. Advertise. Buy your audience. Buy your traffic, right? But most of us, this was the situation I was in, Neil Patel was in, every content marketer is in, you don't have that giant pile of money, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to win the attention. We're not going to buy it. We're going to earn the attention through inbound marketing because we have more brains than money. Content marketing looks like this. It combines 3 different channels: search, social, and email. I'm not talking about paid search. I mean organic search, and search engine optimization, natural, organic rankings. Social media marketing, email marketing. Those together are content marketing. And I'm going to give you a hustle for each. Okay, so here's a quick SEO hustle. This one, SEO is a little more technical, a little more kind of data heavy, so I'm going to give you guys as much as I can in the short time. SEO oversimplified, it really comes down to just 3 things. Let's keep it very simple. It comes down to the keywords. What phrase are you trying to rank for? If you're not deliberate about it, it's never going to happen. Okay? So we want to research keywords very carefully. Second criteria is indicating the relevance of that page for that phrase with so-called on-page SEO. We want to use that phrase on that page in those ways. Nothing spammy about it, nothing weird. We're just going to indicate our relevance through the normal ways of on-page SEO. And lastly, the big trick, and everyone always asks us about this, right? How do you build links? Links are credibility. The more links to a website, the more likely that site is to rank for whatever phrase. Okay? So let's start with keywords. The ideal keyword, people are looking for it. Not everyone's trying to rank for it, and it's relevant to my business, or it's relevant to my piece of content, right? Miss one of these, it's just not going to work out. This is the 3 criteria for choosing keywords. Keywords is one of the 3 criteria in SEO. Miss one of these, skip a step and die. We need those. Okay, how to research. I wrote an article about how to research keywords. And naturally, I go to look up to see how many people are searching for that every day. Turns out there's 9,900 people per month searching for how to research keywords. I could handle that, right? That sounds pretty good. I think I'll target this key phrase. By the way, it's a super helpful topic. That's the key to content marketing. We want to be very helpful, very valuable to our audience by giving away information. I put it into Google Trends. This chart's a bit misleading. I'm not going to get into the technical side of it, but it's not a dying phrase, right? It's not falling off a cliff. And Google Trends is also kind of fun because you can check regional differences. Where are people researching keywords? Nevada. Who knew? This, by the way, is really interesting. Before you start your startup, I can't imagine ever starting a company without researching keywords first, right? Why not read the minds of billions of people, right? Why not measure the size of the market before you jump into it? Trickier if you're an inventor and you made something no one's searching for, it's a novel product, and you have to teach the world that it exists. But still, there's tons of keywords around your product that are, problems that people are having they're trying to solve by searching for them online. Links. We want to check the competition by knowing, I'm going to give you a huge shortcut. Checking competition in SEO is actually very challenging. So here's a cheat sheet for it. Look up your domain authority. There's a laser here. The laser is over here on the domain authority. It's the general metric of link popularity. How many sites are linking to me? What quality sites are linking to me? What's my likelihood of ranking for whatever phrase? Okay? And then drop that into this chart, and you'll have a sense for it, right? If you've got low link popularity, don't target blockbuster key phrases. You've got a more powerful website, more authoritative site, more credibility. Go ahead, target the bigger phrases. You've got a better chance at them. So this is on that article, by the way. Just search for how to research keywords, and you can find that. Probably don't want people to get distracted trying to write everything down. Now we indicate relevance. Use it in the title. Use it in the header. Use it several times in the body of the article, right? And link to that page from other pages on your website using the phrase in the links. This is basic on-page SEO, right? And you can find all this, by the way. There's nothing tricky about any of this. You can find it all on Google's own webmaster blog. It's that obvious. The title, though, is the most important. The title not only, it's weird, it's kind of a hidden thing, right? It's like metadata. It doesn't appear on the website. It appears above the address bar in the browser. Laser, up here, right? Above the address bar. That's where your title tag appears. Or in Chrome, it's in the tab. It becomes the link in Google when you rank. Therefore, it is the single most important place to indicate relevance and use your target phrase. Okay? Sadly, there are people who don't do this. There are pros. There's industry greats who don't do this, and it breaks my heart. The worst all-time title tag for a web page is home. It says nothing, right? If Google was a library, would you name your book Book and go put it in the library? And like, no. You're making it harder for Google, right? Every time someone puts home as their homepage title tag, a unicorn cries. Don't do it. There's a incubator, accelerator in Merchandise Mart that actually has home as their homepage title tag. Tell them. Their name starts with a 1. OK. How to research keywords. I'm ranking number 2 for this phrase, right? 9,900 people per month are searching for this. I get visitors every day. If I pulled out my phone, I could look. I probably have visitors who are reading this article right now, right? How to market an event. 12,000 people per month are searching for this phrase. This was a blog post on our website like, I don't know, a month ago. 12,100 people per month searching for it. I ranked number 1 for how to market an event. Eventbrite is buying this traffic. What does that mean? Here's the big spike in the beginning. If you can see this, that spike in the top left is the email that I send out. I'm always combining search, social, email. The email goes out. Traffic is coming in, 20, 30, 40 visits a day every day, right? Because it ranks, because SEO is more durable than social media, than email marketing, which you have to keep working at, right? SEO is kind of a more passive way to rank. And as time goes on, as you rank for more and more phrases, right? Try this once a week. You'll have 1,000 extra visitors per day, every day. I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly how it works. This is the Orbit traffic, or Orbit weekly traffic over the last few years, because why wouldn't I write a high-ranking blog post once a week? How to promote your website. 4,400 people search for this phrase every month, and I'm ranking number 1. Look at all these people bidding on this one, right? That's advertising. This is content marketing. Anyone can buy this. No amount of money can get you to rank that high. You just have to be better at it. Competitive analysis tools, 720 people per month. Someone contacted me last week adding to pay to put their link on this webpage. Didn't cost me a dime to write it, right? It's just the best piece of content I could create on competitive analysis tools. How to make a sitemap, very relevant phrase in my industry, right? 8,100 searches per month. These are all blog posts from like the last few months, by the way, right? This is the hustle. This is the SEO hustle. I ranked number 4 for how to make a sitemap. Keywords and catapult safety tips was the rest of the title on that one. And web design tips. 2,900 people per month. This is highly relevant to our business, which is web design. So of course, this was not an easy one to rank for. So what happens is these things attract traffic. They attract subscribers. They attract social media followers. They attract links, which help us rank for everything else. By the way, you might notice my face is appearing over here in search results. That's a special trick called Google authorship. If you connect your Google Plus account to your blog posts with some links, that relationship gets established, and Google puts your Google Plus profile picture into search results. If you want to learn more about this, search for Google authorship. I rank number 3 for Google authorship, right under Google and Google. The day you outrank Google for a Google-related phrase, you are like a black belt SEO hustler, and I'm not there yet. So. OK, so the other benefit to these, as I mentioned, is they all attract links, right? So people are finding this is our webmaster tools, and there's SEO best practices. 54 different websites have linked to that. We get links while we sleep. Website competitive analysis tools, 33 different websites have linked to that. So this is actually helping us be kind of more buoyant in search results for all kinds of different phrases. That's my SEO hustle. I got a few minutes left for my email hustle. Oh, Seth, do I have permission to go long? This is counting me down. OK. I'm going to take just a couple more minutes, and I'll wrap it up. This is my favorite email trick because I took my email subscribe form from that up there at the top, the blah, 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 really boring, I don't even want to read it myself, to this one down here at the bottom, which stands out more and gives people much more information. It led to a 1,900% increase in newsletter subscribers. So that's worth kind of analyzing for a bit. Let's break that down. It's prominent, this big red box. It promises you something. It's bi-weekly, it's promising frequency, and it's web marketing tips. It's promising a topic. And the proof, social proof. There's 3,500 people already on this list. Today it's like 4,200, I think. So your email sign-up form should have these three things: prominence, promise, and proof. If it doesn't, just ask yourself, right? Web marketing is an act of empathy. Ask yourself why on earth you would sign up for that newsletter, right? It would be weird if someone signed up for your newsletter. Probably if it doesn't include these things. Here's another really good one from Jay Baer's website, convinceandconvert.com. Get one social thing. Prominence, promise, proof. It's really good. Here's the worst email sign-up form ever. 22 fields, 20 are required. It asks you how much money you make. You've got to choose, like, you got to put in CAPTCHA text on there. It's the all-time worst, right? No one ever subscribed. This company actually, rarely do I do this. I agreed to do content strategy for them. They flew people in, and we sat down at the table, did a half-day session, right? And they said, well, I'm like, why do you ask all these questions? We're going to analyze it someday. How's your data collection going? No one ever signs up. Greedy forms will kill you, right? That's called, we want to optimize these things to convert a maximum percentage of users into subscribers. This is what your email stats look like when you do it right. It's like a heartbeat, right? Just tag it with the tracking code, and these show up in your analytics beautifully. This is the list growth on the Orbit Media email list. So a big believer in email marketing. Speaking of conversions, I went to a certain nearby Merchandise Mart incubator accelerator, it starts with a 1, and grabbed a bunch of those websites, but they don't even link to them. Oh, no, I need to call somebody. And grabbed a bunch of those buttons, right? This is the buttons that they want visitors to convert, right? You want to convert a visitor into a registrant for your online startup, right? Your digital startup, your .com, your software as a service, your online product. These companies are going to basically need someone to click this button for them to stay in business. But have they ever tested it? I wonder. I really wonder. If your business is based on someone clicking a button and you've never done a test on a different call to action, time to hustle, right? Get up there and try something else. This one down here is Neil Patel, who spoke at the Technori Growth Summit. Awesome, awesome web marketer. This is for Crazy Egg. Show me my heat map. Yellow, arrows, redundant link, right? You can bet he tested the crap out of that. I just showed you a conversion optimization trick that led to a 1,900% increase. Imagine if improving this only took you from 1 to 1.2% conversion. That's instant 20% growth. So please, test your conversion rate, right? Test your calls to action. That's called CRO, conversion rate optimization. That's a basic hustle that every web marketer should be doing. Somebody needs to be obsessed about your conversion rate inside your companies. A quick social hustle, then we're done. I'm such a dork, I wrote a poem about web marketing. It ranks #1 for web marketing poetry. Not a lot of searches. Not a lot of people looking for that phrase, right? 0 traffic from search. It was World Poetry Day. What am I going to do? It's about ranking. It's about SEO. It's an SEO poem. OK, so I go to one of the research tools. Thankfully, Twitter's the world's greatest phone book. You can find anyone talking about snowmobiling and Russian today. Yes, there's 18 of them. They're on Twitter, right? You can find anybody you're looking for. Who has poetry and SEO in their bio? These people do, right? There was a giant list. This screenshot's just at the top 2. Suk Sandhu, he's in Australia. He has 28,000 followers, and he's a poet who loves SEO, right? So why not mention him in a tweet? Thanks, Suk. Let's see. It's a poem about writing for SEO. He retweeted it within minutes. He loved it. He commented, right? It's beautiful. It was fun reading this. Thank you for sharing. Oh, a man after my own heart. He loved it. And then he tweeted, he commented. He's like, oh, I just commented on this post. So this is a simple social hustle, right? There's an audience for everything out there. Just go find them and mention them in a tweet. It takes 2 seconds. The other day was looking at my stats, and I had like an extra 500 visitors, and I'm like, what's going on the site? Oh, these tweets, this content I wrote months ago started to get shared everywhere because on a Saturday afternoon, I took a couple hours and just scheduled like a year's worth of tweets of old content. Automated, right? Everyone complains, I don't have time for social media. Plug it all in, right? Sit down and get it done, do the work, and promote your content months in advance. So these are all just tweets that are going to be happening over the next few months, a couple a week, all different content, articles I've written over time. So this article that they shared, it got a couple hundred visits when the email went out. They crushed that one when that thing, like 2 weeks ago, when everyone decided to reshare that. So this is an excellent social media hustle. Just every time you write something, go ahead and schedule a tweet a few months out, remind people about it, or if you've written a dozen articles or 100 articles, go in and just schedule tweets for them all right away. I don't like working with startups, honestly. I'm not trying to pitch to any of you guys. Orbit is not a great fit, typically speaking, for web startups. But when people come in, I really do want to help them, so I often ask this question. What if you went live today? What would you do? And there's not usually good answers. And you should know the answer to this question. Some people say that they're going to get a bunch of traffic from Mashable. We're going to be on Hacker News. Craig Kilborn is going to we're going to be on his show, and Justin Bieber is going to tweet us. Great. Good for you. But I've seen the stats of companies that do that. And trust me, it doesn't go very far. Right? Getting written up in Mashable, it's good if you want to say as seen on Mashable on your website, but other than that, that traffic is going to die within days, and you're going to be that long, flat thing, never hitting your minimum viable audience. So what I recommend doing, do something awesome. Pay attention to traffic, pay attention to conversions, produce ongoing content, promote it through search, social, and email. Right? Help your audience before they buy from you. Build that minimum viable audience starting now. Do epic shit. That's my final word of advice. Thank you all. I really enjoyed this. Sorry I went long.
What link building methods do you recommend?
The ultimate secret to link building that I know of is to write super high quality content and make it visible in search somewhere on page 1. If people can find it, it will be visible in a more durable way, and 1% of them will be bloggers, and 5% of those will love it. It's, I think, to create a link magnet. This is actually my newsletter on Thursday. It's about creating link magnets. It's basically just to go really, really big on content, like 2,000 plus word articles, epic length, and give them some visibility in search, and they tend to attract links that way.
What do you do if you have no proof?
I got that question, and I haven't answered it yet. There's a comment right now at the top of that post that says, that post about email sign-up forms, which search for email sign-up forms and you'll find it. I think that there's all kinds of proof, and they may not be suitable for putting right next to the subscribe box. But if you should have won some kind of award, have some kind of credential, have some kind of certification, have some kind of audience. Even if you have one customer, get a quote from them. That's social proof, right? Almost anything, any third-party endorsement, any kind of credential, any industry association membership. These are all types of proof.
Who creates the content? I'm a horrible writer.
Boy, that is, first of all, I would just encourage whoever asked that question to almost just pinch yourself or punch yourself in the nose. Don't ever tell yourself you're a bad writer. Writing is the most important skill going into this golden age of content marketing we're about to hit. And I do not recommend that self-defeatist attitude. So don't believe your own question, first of all. Delegate, but you can delegate, you can outsource, and you can practice. So great writing is really, great content is assembled, not written. It's really more about the audience, the angle, and the structure, right? Just start writing list posts. Anyone can do that, right? Or don't create content at all. Curate it from your audience. I mentioned a second ago getting quotes from people or testimonials, but the superstar content marketers actually curate as much as they create.
What actions do you, what calls to action do you use in your emails? Do you ask them actually straight out to buy your services, or how do you coax people into the sales funnel?
It's almost never a good idea to actually to try selling. That's the opposite philosophy of content marketing. You want to create tons of visibility and loyalty and love before the person, before you try to pitch them very much of anything. calls to action, I think that almost every great blog post will end with a call to action, even if that call to action is about nothing more than leaving us comments, right? Asking a question is a call to action. I think that great emails don't give away too much in the content of the email. They have like a teaser text. You know, like the Thursday newsletter about link building is going to say, you know, if your content doesn't meet one of these 2 criteria, it's never going to attract links. ... You got to click to find out what I'm talking about, so that's going to probably lead to a pretty good click-through rate. But the calls to action on that were really about solving a problem. You want to put yourself in the mind of the audience and be empathetic about it. But that's a science. You know, there's no opinion left in marketing. You just try different things and test.
I guess when you publish a new article, I guess how and have you used social media and email to market each one? You mentioned that you tweeted out that one, but so every time you write something, do you have a whole plan in place immediately how to market that article?
It depends if it's a post on our site or if it's a guest post. I write probably maybe 50 guest posts a year, and guest posting I think is a really powerful. It's link building, but it's also a really powerful social media strategy. So a great post goes live, I think, the night, let's say we're sending an email on Thursday morning. The post goes live on Wednesday, and we'll promote it through social media on Wednesday to see if we can get a few comments so that when the email drops, you're going to have 4,000 visitors to that, or 500 visitors to that on Thursday morning. You want it to look nice. It's like a realtor cleaning up the house before people come inside. You want a few comments helps. And then throughout the day, you're going to be watching for comments and answering comments and tweeting and having conversations with people about it online, hopefully, watching as people share it. You continue to promote it. Don't be shy. Social media streams move fast, so don't, oh, I already tweeted that once last week. I'm all set there. No, that's not how Twitter works. So be a little bit aggressive, probably more aggressive than you're comfortable with if you're new to social media. And then schedule some tweets out in advance. So use Hootsuite. I was showing you a screenshot of Hootsuite. So you book those things long in advance. But it all becomes a feedback loop and a virtuous cycle, the search, social, and email.
It's technically one last question here, and I'm not actually going to ask you to do this. But maybe as for a piece of content, people want to know if you'd be willing to sing your poem.
Sing it?
Yeah.
If we pull it up, I can read. I don't know if it has music to it, but I could read a little bit of it. It's short. Do you want
to read the poem? All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Should I use that? Is that online?
No, not. Acapella. You can.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You don't know it by heart?
No, I don't know if I do. That's not all of it. It's a little longer than that.
Sing the first paragraph. Just do your best.
Sing it? That makes no sense at all. Oh boy. Can someone just throw out a song and I'll try to match it to that?
When you wish upon a star.
Okay. When you write for search engines, you're writing. No, that's not going to work. I'm sorry, guys. That's bad. Hey, a content marketer has to know when the circular file makes sense, okay? But if I could tab out of this, I could actually read it to you very briefly. Is this computer online?
No.
It's not online. Seth, you're online, right? Okay. Thank you, Mana. This is Mana Mika, my life partner and our social media vendor and content marketing superstar. Thank you, baby. Okay, here we go. When you write for search engines, your writing might sound strange. The words you choose, the style you use, lots of things may change. Change your title, how could you? You'll compromise the page. Keywords, linking, headers, tagging, like writing in a cage. You might feel like a criminal committing writing crimes. Repeat that phrase till it displays 5 to 7 times. Don't go too far for ranking's sake by changing all your text. When keywords cram, you'll sound like spam, your visitors perplexed. Step once for you and once for rank, soon you'll walk that line. You'll rank high and still get by with writing that sounds fine. But I don't want to compromise. My writing art is true. You keep your art, but I'll be smart. I'll see you on page 2. Every poet surely knows how good constraints can be. The rules of rhyme and metered time force creativity. Singers sing, and poets rhyme to get the girls to oogle. I'll tweak my copy all the time to win some love from Google. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I'm out.